Earth's military space station, Horizon, orbited peacefully, its sensors scanning the depths of space. Captain Sam Harris stood at the command center, sipping his coffee when the alarms suddenly blared to life. "Sir, multiple unknown objects approaching from beyond lunar orbit," called out P.D. Williams, his eyes fixed on the radar screen. "First contact protocol," ordered Harris, his voice steady despite his racing heart. Humanity had wondered for centuries if they were alone in the universe. Today, they got their answer. The objects materialized into sleek, metallic vessels unlike anything humans had designed. Their hulls gleamed with an otherworldly sheen as they approached Earth orbit. "They're broadcasting something," said Communications Officer Natalie Ford. "It's translating itself into our languages." The message was simple. Representatives of the Galactic Council wished to meet with Earth's leaders. Within hours, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session and selected diplomat John Mason and scientist Lisa Wright to represent humanity. Mason straightened his tie nervously as the shuttle approached the largest alien vessel. "Remember," he told Wright, "we represent the entire human race now." Wright nodded, clutching her tablet. "First contact. I still can't believe it." The alien ship's docking bay was vast and spotlessly clean. Beings of various shapes and sizes waited for them, some tall and willowy with blue skin, others squat with multiple arms. At the center stood two creatures who introduced themselves as council representatives. "I am Drelkan of the Vorn," said the taller one, its voice resonating strangely. "And this is Jimora of the Zelthari. We welcome Earth to the galactic community." For 3 days, Mason and Wright attended meetings and tours, learning about the Council's structure and the hundreds of species under its governance. They explained Earth's history and culture, noting the aliens' particular interest in human warfare and technology. "Your species has progressed remarkably quickly," noted Jimora. "From primitive flight to space travel in less than a century." Something in her tone made Wright uneasy, but Mason was too excited by the prospect of galactic trade and technology exchange to notice. On the 4th day, during a formal dinner aboard the Council flagship, Mason raised his glass in toast to new friendships and peaceful cooperation between Earth and the Council. The aliens didn't join the toast. Instead, Drelkan's expression hardened. "We have concluded our assessment of humanity." The room's atmosphere changed instantly. "What assessment?" asked Mason, lowering his glass. "Your species is dangerously unpredictable," said Drelkan. "Your adaptability rate exceeds safe parameters. Your technological development curve is concerning." Wright stood up. "What are you saying?" Jimora activated a screen showing Earth's moon. "We've seen species like yours before. Left unchecked, you would destabilize centuries of galactic order." Mason watched in horror as bright flashes appeared on the lunar surface where human colonies had been established. Alarms sounded as the ship's artificial gravity shifted. "What have you done?" he shouted. "Containment protocol," Drelkan stated coldly. "Earth must be restricted for the greater good." Armed guards surrounded Mason and Wright. Outside the viewports, more council ships emerged from jump points near Earth. "This is an act of war," Mason protested as they were dragged away. "No," replied Jimora. "This is prevention." On Earth, people watched the skies fill with unknown vessels. Military bases worldwide scrambled fighters and activated defense systems. The Horizon Station fired its first shots in humanity's defense before being vaporized by Council weaponry. As Mason and Wright were locked in a holding cell, Earth's major cities came under precision bombardment. They could only watch helplessly on the monitors as humanity faced its greatest challenge, a technologically superior enemy that had decided humans were too dangerous to be allowed free development. The Council had made their judgment. Humanity would soon deliver their response. 5 years passed since the day the skies darkened with Council ships. Earth now lived under alien rule. The once bustling streets of New York, London, and Tokyo were quiet, patrolled by tall, armored Vorn soldiers and floating Zelthari surveillance drones. Governor Krell-Vor, a high-ranking Vorn official, administered Earth from what used to be the United Nations building. He had transformed it into a fortress of alien technology and armed guards. Each morning, he issued new restrictions on human movement and technology. Humans may not gather in groups larger than 5, read the latest decree. All electronic communications require council approval. Curfew begins at sundown. Daniel Green watched the announcement from a hidden basement in Chicago. Once a Navy commander, he now led the largest human resistance cell. The room around him was filled with smuggled equipment and desperate-looking people. "They're tightening the noose again," said Olivia Martinez, typing rapidly on a modified computer. Before the invasion, she had been developing security software. Now she worked to hack council systems. "Any progress on the council database?" Green asked. Martinez nodded grimly. "I got in last night. You need to see this." She pulled up images of massive mining operations in Africa and South America. Council ships carried away enormous containers of minerals and metals. Other images showed laboratories where humans were kept in glass chambers. "They're experimenting on people," she whispered, "and systematically stripping Earth of resources." Green slammed his fist on the table. "We need to hit back harder." Outside, humans shuffled through daily life under alien control. Food was rationed. Schools taught only council-approved subjects. Space travel was forbidden, and anyone caught with prohibited technology faced imprisonment or worse. In a council processing facility near Seattle, Rick Cooper worked under alien supervision, sorting Earth artifacts. He secretly pocketed a small radio component and hid it in his shoe, risking severe punishment to smuggle it to the resistance. That night, Cooper met with local resistance member Jamie Foster in an abandoned subway tunnel. "Here," Cooper whispered, passing the component. "Tell Green it's from the communication array." "You're taking too many risks," Foster warned, pocketing the precious part. Cooper shrugged. "My sister's in one of their research facilities. What else can I do?" Across the Atlantic, in the ruins of Paris, council peacekeepers chased 12-year-old Zoe Wilson through narrow streets. She had been caught collecting discarded alien technology. Diving into a hidden passage, she escaped into a network of tunnels where other children waited. "Did you get it?" asked an older boy. Zoe produced a small alien device, right from their garbage. These children, orphaned in the invasion, gathered scraps of council technology for the resistance to study. Back in Chicago, Martinez made a breakthrough. Hacking deeper into council records, she discovered classified reports about humans. "Listen to this," she told Green, reading from the screen. "Human adaptability exceeds all known species parameters. Their technological advancement rate presents an extinction-level threat to established council hierarchies within 3 generations if left unchecked." Green's eyes widened. "They attacked us because they're afraid of what we might become." "There's more," Martinez continued. "Several council species voted against the containment policy. They believed humans should have been offered membership instead." This information spread through resistance networks worldwide. Humans realized the attack wasn't just about resources, it was fear of human potential. In his private quarters, Governor Krell-Vor reviewed security reports with growing concern. Human resistance activities had increased 40% in the last month. Despite the harshest measures, human spirit remained unbroken. A subordinate entered nervously. "Governor, we've detected unusual power signatures from the Rocky Mountains region." Krell-Vor's 4 eyes narrowed. "Investigate immediately." Unknown to the council, beneath those mountains, humanity had begun to awaken its most dangerous quality: the ability to adapt, overcome, and evolve beyond their oppressors' expectations. The old mining tunnel seemed to go on forever. Daniel Green led a small team through the darkness, their way lit only by dim flashlights. The air grew colder as they descended deeper into the Rocky Mountains. "Are you sure about these coordinates?" Green asked, checking his hand-drawn map against the tunnel markings. Olivia Martinez nodded. "My source was certain. If it exists, it's down here. For months, they had chased rumors of a secret pre-invasion facility. Their search had cost lives. 3 team members captured during a council patrol last week. They couldn't afford to be wrong. "There," whispered Ben Harris, pointing his light at a smooth section of wall that looked different from the rough stone around it. "That doesn't match the rest." Martinez ran her fingers along the surface, finding a nearly invisible seam. She pulled out a device cobbled together from stolen council tech and human ingenuity. After several tense minutes, a soft click echoed through the tunnel. The wall slid open. "My God," breathed Green as lights automatically activated inside, revealing a massive underground complex. Untouched by the invasion, the facility hummed with power from geothermal generators deep below. "Welcome to Phoenix Base," announced an automated voice. Voice identification required. Green stepped forward. "Commander Daniel Green, United States Navy." After a moment of silence, the system responded. "Military authorization accepted. Phoenix protocol activated." Screens flickered to life around them, displaying schematics for weapons, ships, and defense systems, technology far beyond what humanity had publicly possessed before the invasion. "What is this place?" asked Harris, staring at the displays. Martinez found a terminal and began reading. It says here Phoenix Protocol was a contingency plan created by a secret coalition of Earth governments. They suspected hostile contact was possible and prepared accordingly. Green examined the weapon designs. These would work against Council shields. They knew more than they let on. The facility contained more than just plans. Hidden manufacturing equipment, materials, and even partially completed prototypes filled the enormous underground spaces. "There's a message," Martinez called out, activating a recorded video. A serious-looking woman in a military uniform appeared on screen. "If you're viewing this, first contact has gone poorly. Phoenix Protocol represents humanity's insurance policy, technology and resources hidden from public knowledge, and any potential alien surveillance. Everything you need to rebuild and fight back is here or in similar facilities worldwide. The coordinates are in the database. Good luck. Humanity is counting on you." For the first time in 5 years, Green felt real hope. Over the next weeks, they reached out to resistance cells worldwide, using codes embedded in Council communication networks that Martinez had hijacked. Teams located 7 more Phoenix facilities across the globe. In an abandoned aircraft hangar in Nevada, pilot Kelly Rodriguez inspected the first completed prototype, a sleek ship designed to be invisible to Council sensors. "Will it fly?" asked Alan Parker, the engineer who had led its construction. Rodriguez ran her hand along the hull. "Only one way to find out." Their first mission targeted a small Council outpost on Earth's moon. Rodriguez piloted with Parker as gunner, testing both the stealth capabilities and weapons systems. The outpost never saw them coming. The Phoenix ship slipped past defenses designed to detect known human technology. When they returned to Earth, they brought Council data cores and technology samples. "The Phoenix weapons worked perfectly," Rodriguez reported. "Their shields went down with just 2 hits." Word spread through resistance networks. Hidden factories began production. Former military personnel emerged from hiding to join the effort. In Chicago, Green addressed a growing army of recruits. "For 5 years, they've hunted us, controlled us, experimented on us. They thought they had beaten us into submission." He activated a screen showing dozens of Phoenix ships under construction in facilities around the world. They were wrong. Humanity doesn't break. We adapt. We rebuild. And now we strike back. In orbit, a Council patrol ship detected an unusual energy signature near Mars. Before it could report, a Phoenix vessel decloaked and fired. The Council ship exploded silently in the vacuum of space, the first casualty in humanity's coming storm of retribution. Kelly Rodriguez adjusted her helmet as the Phoenix ship slipped silently into Mars orbit. The red planet had become a major council communications hub, with massive antenna arrays spreading across its surface like spiderwebs. Approaching drop point, she whispered to her team of 5 resistance fighters, "Remember, we need those data cores intact." The ship hovered above Olympus Mons, where the main council facility was built into the ancient volcano. Their stealth technology had allowed them to approach undetected, a remarkable achievement against the usually all-seeing council sensors. "Deploying now," said Rodriguez, activating their suits' gravity modulators. The team dropped from the ship, using controlled descent to land silently on the facility's roof. Alan Parker, their tech specialist, worked quickly to bypass the security systems. "I got access. Internal sensors disabled for the next 10 minutes. They moved through the facility with practiced precision. 2 guards fell silently to stun weapons before they could raise an alarm. The team reached the central data chamber, a cavernous room filled with glowing servers and holographic displays. "Start the download," ordered Rodriguez as they secured the room. Parker connected to the main terminal. "Something's odd. These aren't just communication logs. This is council meeting transcripts, internal debates." Rodriguez glanced at the security feed. "Hurry, we have 7 minutes." "You need to see this," Parker insisted, projecting a translation on his portable screen. The transcripts revealed heated arguments among council species about Earth. One passage from a senior Vorn administrator stated, "Human adaptability exceeds all projected models. Their problem-solving methodology is dangerously unpredictable." Another entry from a Zelthari scientist was even more revealing. "Their technological progression curve is unprecedented. Within 2 centuries, they advanced from crude combustion to basic space travel. No other species has compressed development so rapidly." A third voice, identified as Elloran Representative Tal Shur, had opposed the invasion. "The containment policy violates our founding principles. Humans should be guided, not oppressed. I formally register my species' objection." "They attacked us because they're scared of us," whispered Rodriguez, understanding dawning on her face. "Not all of them," Parker pointed out. "Look, several species voted against the attack. The Illorans, the Rixians, even some Zelthari factions." An alarm suddenly blared. "We've been detected," shouted one of their team members. "Council guards approaching." "Get that data and move," ordered Rodriguez, positioning herself at the door. Parker completed the download as blaster fire erupted in the corridor. "Got it. Plus something else. Complete schematics of their shield generators." They fought their way back to the extraction point, losing 1 team member in the process. As their ship broke Mars orbit, Rodriguez clutched the precious data cores. Back on Earth, in the main Phoenix facility, Alan Parker worked day and night analyzing the council shield designs. After weeks of testing, he emerged from his workshop with a small device. "I call it the resonance key," he explained to Green and Martinez. "Council shields operate on a frequency pattern that shifts according to attack types. This disrupts that pattern, making their shields collapse with minimal energy input." Martinez looked skeptical. "Their shield technology is centuries ahead of ours." Parker smiled. "But their thinking isn't. They never considered someone would analyze the pattern itself rather than trying to overpower it." Green immediately ordered production of the resonance key devices. Within a month, every Phoenix ship carried the new weapon. The Resistance launched Operation Silent Strike, coordinated attacks on Council supply lines throughout the solar system. Phoenix ships appeared from nowhere, disabled Council vessels with a single shot, and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. On the Council command ship orbiting Jupiter, Governor Krelvor received increasingly desperate reports. "Another supply convoy lost near Saturn," reported his lieutenant. "That's 14 ships this week." Krelvor smashed his fist on the console. "How are they doing this? Their technology was primitive." "Sir," said another officer nervously, "long-range sensors detect unusual activity in Earth orbit. The image on the main screen showed dozens. Then hundreds of unidentified ships emerging from hidden bases on Earth's moon, in asteroid fields, and from underwater facilities. For 5 years, humans had endured occupation. Now, the hidden shipyards of Phoenix Protocol had produced Earth's first true battle fleet, and it was heading straight for the main Council forces. The silent strike was over. The thunder of humanity's revenge was about to begin. The massive Phoenix fleet emerged from Earth's shadow, 300 ships strong. Each vessel bore the emblem of humanity's resistance, a stylized phoenix rising from flames. From his command chair on the flagship Defiance, Daniel Green surveyed the holographic display showing Council forces in Earth orbit. "All ships report ready, Commander," said his communications officer. Green nodded. "Begin Operation Liberation. Tell all ships to activate resonance keys on my mark." The Council defense fleet had grown complacent after years of unchallenged rule. Their ships were positioned in standard formation, shields at minimal power to conserve energy. "Resonance keys active," reported Alan Parker from his engineering station. "Fire," ordered Green. Across the human fleet, the devices Parker had created emitted precisely calibrated energy pulses. Council shields flickered and failed as the carefully designed frequencies disrupted their patterns. Before the alien vessels could recover, Phoenix ships opened fire with conventional weapons. "Council flagship is attempting to coordinate a response," reported Olivia Martinez, monitoring enemy communications. "Their command structure is in chaos." Within 30 minutes, the orbital battle was over. Council ships either retreated or drifted as burning hulks. For the first time in 5 years, Earth orbit belonged to humans again. "Begin Phase 2, ordered Green. Kelly Rodriguez led a strike team to the Council prison station near Jupiter, where John Mason and Lisa Wright had been held since the initial invasion. Their stealth ship docked undetected at a maintenance port. "6 guards in the detention level," whispered Rodriguez as they moved through the station's corridors. The team struck quickly. When they reached the high-security cells, they found Mason and Wright pale and thin but alive. "Who are you?" asked Mason, squinting at his rescuers. "Humanity's response," replied Rodriguez, helping him stand. "Earth is fighting back." Meanwhile, the liberation of Earth's surface had begun. Phoenix teams deployed to major cities, targeting Council administrative centers and military installations. In New York, resistance fighters disabled the defense grid protecting Governor Krulvor's headquarters. As Council forces retreated from Chicago, people emerged from hiding to cheer the Phoenix soldiers. For the first time in years, the streets filled with celebrating humans. Not all battles were easily won. In Sydney, Council troops fought desperately to maintain control. Near Beijing, alien reinforcements arrived from nearby bases on the moon. But with each passing day, more territory returned to human hands. At a secured communications terminal, Olivia Martinez made contact with an unexpected ally. The face of an Ellerin appeared on her screen, tall, with luminescent skin and 4 eyes. "I am Representative Tal Schur," said the alien. "My species oppose the containment of Earth. We wish to assist your liberation." "Why should we trust any Council member?" Martins asked skeptically. "Because we can provide the command codes to all Council defense systems in your solar system," replied Tal Schur. "And because not all species believe humanity should be feared, some believe you should be welcomed." The information Tal Schur provided proved genuine. Defense systems across Earth suddenly powered down as Martinez applied the codes. Council soldiers found themselves cut off from their command networks. In orbit, John Mason and Lisa Wright, now recovered from their long imprisonment, stood on the bridge of the Defiance beside Commander Green. 5 years, said Mason, watching Earth's blue sphere through the view screen. "They thought they had broken us." "Humans don't break easily," replied Green. "We adapt. We learn. And now we've learned how to defeat them." Wright studied the tactical displays showing human forces reclaiming the solar system. "What happens after we've liberated Earth?" Green's expression hardened. "Then we take the fight to them. The Galactic Council needs to answer for what they've done. As the last Council strongholds on Earth fell, humanity prepared for the next phase. Phoenix shipyards accelerated production. Scientists studied captured alien technology, improving upon it with human ingenuity. Governor Krelvor, fleeing Earth in a damaged shuttle, sent one final message to the Council. Containment has failed. The humans are coming. His warning would prove prophetic in ways the Council could never have imagined. The vast Council citadel hung in space like a gleaming metal flower, its 6 petal-shaped sections housing representatives of over 300 galactic species. For millennia, it had been the center of galactic politics and power, a place no containment species had ever approached. Until today. Alarms blared across the station as sensors detected multiple jump signatures. The impossibility of what followed left Council security forces frozen in disbelief. Hundreds of human vessels emerged from jump space, a technology the Council had deliberately withheld from Earth. Impossible, whispered Supreme Councilor Drelmack, the senior Vorn representative, as he watched the fleet approach on the chamber's main display. They cannot have mastered jump technology so quickly. But the evidence filled the view screen. At the fleet's center was the human flagship Defiance, twice the size of any vessel Earth had possessed before the invasion. Flanking it were ships bearing marks of battle, veterans of the liberation of the solar system. "They're hailing us," reported a technician, voice quavering. "Put it through," ordered Drelmack, composing himself before the assembled Council representatives. John Mason's face appeared on the screen. The former diplomat showed the strain of his years in captivity, but his eyes burned with determination. "This is John Mason of Earth, addressing the Galactic Council. We come to present evidence of war crimes committed against our planet and to negotiate new terms for humanity's place in the galaxy." Murmurs spread through the Council chamber. Many species were seeing a free human for the first time since containment began. "You have no authority here," responded Drelmack. "Your species is under lawful containment as a threat to galactic stability." Mason's expression didn't change. "We reject your containment as an act of unprovoked aggression. We have liberated our system and now demand justice." Before Drelmack could respond, Olivia Martinez activated a data transmission. Screens throughout the Council chamber filled with images, bombardment of Earth cities, human experimentation labs, resource extraction operations that had devastated entire regions. "These are your crimes," said Mason, "witnessed and documented." The Council chamber erupted in shocked conversations. Many representatives had been told the containment was peaceful, a simple quarantine of a dangerous species. "Order," shouted Drelmack. "This human propaganda is verified by our own records," interrupted Tal Shur, the Elloran representative, rising from his seat. "My government has reviewed these files. They match our intelligence reports that were suppressed when we objected to the containment policy." Other representatives began to speak up, species that had opposed the harsh treatment of Earth or had been kept ignorant of the true nature of the containment. Outside the Citadel, Kelly Rodriguez led a squadron of Phoenix fighters in precise maneuvers around the Council's defensive platforms. Without firing a shot, her pilots demonstrated capabilities that shocked Council military observers. "Their flight coordination exceeds our best units," reported a Zelthari commander. "And their ships move in ways ours cannot match." In the engineering section of the Defiance, Alan Parker prepared his most impressive demonstration. At his command, a small device activated, sending a specific signal through the Citadel's power grid. Throughout the station, artificial gravity fluctuated in patterns that spelled out a message in Council standard notation. "Your SHIELDs are now ours." Parker hadn't actually taken control of the Citadel, but the demonstration proved humans could penetrate Council systems at will. In the Council chamber, Mason continued, "In 5 years, we went from a defeated species to one capable of liberating our entire system. We reversed engineered your technology and improved upon it. Your containment didn't weaken us. It forced us to become stronger than we ever would have been otherwise." Drelmak's composure finally broke. "If you think you can threaten the Council—" "We don't threaten," Mason interrupted. "We offer a choice: continue as enemies, and face a war with a species that adapts faster than you can respond, or recognize humanity as equals and help us build a better galaxy together." The council chamber fell silent as representatives contemplated the implications. The humans they had dismissed as primitives had not only survived containment, they had emerged from it stronger, more advanced, and now stood before the council, not as supplicants, but as equals demanding justice. The galaxy's balance of power had irrevocably changed. The council citadel's main chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from all member species gathered to witness what many believed impossible just days earlier: the drafting of a new galactic charter with humans at the negotiating table. Supreme Counselor Drelmak had not surrendered easily. After Mason's ultimatum, he had secretly ordered the Council's military reserve fleet to attack the human ships. It was a desperate gamble that had failed catastrophically. The Council vessels had approached from behind Jupiter's largest moon, weapons charge. Before they could fire, Parker's resonance keys had disabled their shields. Rodriguez's fighters had surgically destroyed their weapons systems without causing a single casualty. The entire battle lasted less than 4 minutes. Now Drelmak sat in disgrace as John Mason addressed the Council from the speaker's podium, a position no containment species had ever held. "The old Council was built on fear and control," Mason said, his voice carrying through the vast chamber. "The new galactic community will be founded on mutual respect and cooperation." Lisa Wright stepped forward with data tablets containing the proposed new charter. "We have incorporated governance principles from Earth's most successful international organizations, adapted for interspecies relations." The provisions were straightforward. All species would have equal representation. Technology would be shared rather than controlled, and no species could be contained without evidence of actual aggression, not merely potential threat. "This is unacceptable," protested G. Mora, the Zeltheri representative who had helped oversee Earth's containment. "The older species have guided galactic development for millennia. We cannot allow untested races equal authority." "Your guidance led to oppression," responded Tal Shur, the Ellerin who had helped humanity. "Perhaps it is time for new perspectives." The debate continued for hours. Throughout the Citadel, humans and aliens worked side by side repairing the damage from the brief battle. In engineering sections, Alan Parker showed Council technicians how humans had modified jump drive technology to be 30% more efficient. "We didn't just copy your designs," he explained to the amazed aliens. "We asked questions your engineers stopped asking centuries ago." In the medical bay, human doctors demonstrated treatments they had developed while fighting Council bioweapons on Earth. Several alien species immediately recognized applications for their own medical challenges. Olivia Martinez met with representatives from the Council's scientific community. She activated a holographic display showing dozens of human innovations developed during the occupation years. "This is what happens when you force humans to adapt," she said. "We don't just survive, we reimagine possibilities." By the third day, the balance had shifted decisively. 2/3 of Council species now supported the new charter, impressed by human ingenuity and eager for the benefits of partnership rather than conflict. In a private meeting room, Mason faced Drelmak one final time. "You could have destroyed us after your victory," said the Vorn leader. "Why didn't you?" "Because revenge solves nothing," Mason replied. "We want to build something better than what came before." On the 7th day, representatives gathered for the signing ceremony. The new Galactic Charter established the Union of Sovereign Species, an alliance of equals replacing the hierarchical council structure. Kelly Rodriguez watched from the observation deck as the document was signed. "Do you think it will last?" she asked Daniel Green, who stood beside her. Green smiled. "It has a better chance than their old system. They tried to contain humanity because they feared what we might become. Now they'll see what we can achieve as allies instead of enemies." As the ceremony concluded, Earth's ships prepared to return home. They carried copies of the entire Council scientific database, knowledge that would accelerate human development by centuries. In the Citadel's Great Hall, a new memorial was unveiled. It listed the names of all who had died during Earth's containment, both human and alien. Beneath the names was inscribed a simple message in every Council language. Let this remind us that fear of differences leads to suffering, while embracing diversity creates strength. On Earth, people watched the live transmission from the Citadel. Streets filled with celebrating crowds as news spread of humanity's new status in the galaxy. Schools that had been forced to teach Council propaganda now prepared curriculum about the hundreds of new species humans would soon meet as equals. The universe had intended to contain humanity. Instead, it had merely set the stage for humanity's greatest leap forward, and for a new galactic order that would never be the same again. 5 years after the signing of the new Galactic Charter, Earth had changed beyond recognition. Gleaming cities rose from the ruins of Council occupation, built with advanced materials and technologies shared by allied species. The scars of invasion were healing, but the memories remained. At New Geneva Spaceport, ships from dozens of worlds arrived daily. Humans mingled freely with aliens, trading, learning, and building relationships that would have seemed impossible during the dark years of containment. Daniel Green, now Admiral of Earth's Defense Fleet, watched a group of Elleran children playing with human kids in the spaceport's central garden. The young aliens, with their blue skin and 4 eyes, showed the human children how to grow luminescent flowers with a touch. "Amazing how quickly the younger generation adapts," said John Mason, approaching from behind. The former diplomat now served as Earth's representative on the Union Council. Green nodded. "They don't carry our baggage. To them, aliens aren't former enemies, just friends who look different." The two men walked through the busy terminal toward a private conference room. Inside waited Olivia Martinez, Kelly Rodriguez, Alan Parker, and Lisa Wright, the core team who had led humanity from occupation to liberation. "The exploration reports are in," said Martinez, activating a holographic display showing a star map. "Our joint expedition with the Illorans has mapped 30 new systems beyond Union space. 3 have habitable planets. Any signs of intelligent life?" asked Wright, now heading Earth's Xenobiology Department. "Nothing yet," replied Martinez. "But the Rixians believe there are at least 7 more spacefaring species beyond known space." Parker pointed to engineering schematics floating beside the star map. "The new drive system is ready for testing. If it works, we can reach the Andromeda Galaxy in months instead of decades." They discussed the latest developments for another hour. Human-alien joint ventures were flourishing across every field: science, art, medicine, exploration. The integration hadn't been without challenges, but progress exceeded all expectations. As the meeting ended, Rodriguez pulled Green aside. "There's something you should know. We've detected unusual activity near the former Vorn homeworld." After their defeat, the hardline Vorn faction had retreated to their ancestral system, refusing to join the Union. They had been quiet until now. "What kind of activity?" asked Green. "Energy signatures consistent with weapons development," said Rodriguez. "Our intelligence suggests Drillmac is gathering supporters for a potential strike against Union worlds." Green sighed. "Some never learn. Inform the Union Council immediately." That evening, as the twin moons rose over New Geneva, Green stood on his balcony watching ships lift off toward distant stars. His communication device chimed with a message from Mason. "Union Council approves joint diplomatic mission to Vorn space. Departs tomorrow. Need you aboard." Green smiled grimly. The Vorn still didn't understand. Humanity had never wanted revenge, only justice and equality. Now Earth would lead a peaceful mission to prevent another conflict, backed by the combined strength of 50 species. In his study, Green opened a small box containing a piece of twisted metal, debris from the Horizon Station, destroyed in the first hours of the Council attack. He kept it as a reminder of how quickly peace could turn to war and how easily fear could lead to tragedy. "Admiral," called his assistant, "the Ellerin ambassador requests a moment of your time." Green tucked the metal fragment away. The past had its place, but the future demanded attention. Humanity had suffered, adapted, and triumphed. Now they would help build a galaxy where no species would face what Earth had endured. As he welcomed the Ellerin ambassador, Green reflected on how far they had come. Earth had entered the galactic community through fire and pain, but emerged stronger and wiser. The Council had feared human potential and tried to contain it. Instead, they had catalyzed humanity's greatest achievement, not just surviving, but transforming galactic civilization itself. The stars that had once seemed so distant now awaited human footsteps, and the universe would never be the same.